Alright, real quick. So this is the 14th Rise 2 devlog, and there hasn't been a Rise 2 devlog in like 4 to 5 months. So I haven't been doing a good job on keeping things updated on my YouTube channel with this game, nor have I been doing a lot of work on this game in general up until fairly recently, in which the goal for this game's release date is August the 3rd, and it's currently, as I'm recording this, July the 15th. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit that release date, but that's currently the goal, and I think it's possible if I power through fast enough, but, like, we'll see. Now, the game has changed quite a bit. Every character now, all 5 of the characters, ignore the fact that Usurper here exists, because he's very unfinished. He'll probably be the first character added in a post-launch update. But out of the 5 characters, and, the characters on the title screen here, all of them now have shop items. Their shop items are a varying degree of being finished. Wolfius and Welmer's are completely finished. Monty and Lasser's like sprites for the items themselves. And Gilman here doesn't have text boxes for the sprites yet. But all of them have shop items that are buyable. So from a code standpoint, all of their shop items are purchasable. What that means is that Monty, Lasser, and Gilman now have supers. So that's neat. So I'm going to go ahead and demo each of these 3 character supers. But before I do that, though, I just want to show off the new map screen here. Up here we have the shop. There's Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4, Stage 5. Stage 5 and 4 do not have text yet. And this would be the boss rush stage, which will be a post-launch inclusion. It's kind of done, but I want to add some spice to it, like in between rooms and stuff like that. So yeah, I really don't want to focus on its existence within, the crunch period I have now. So it'll be a post-launch update, probably with something else, not just it and Usurper, as that's kind of a boring-ish update. I'll probably add something like dark mode or some other weird thing alongside them, as just a boss rush for a post-launch update is kind of but whatever. Now the super meter takes 20 seconds to fill up for every character. Alright, so essentially the way Monty's super works is you're supposed to walk into a crowd of enemies, press space, and then bomb spiral. This used to be broken. If you watch the previous speedrun video thing I did for Rise 2, where I went through stage 1 as every character, you'd know that Monty's super used to be capable of killing the first mini-boss by itself. So, yeah. I haven't touched any other character's supers, by the way, just Monty's, as it was busted. It's still really good, but, not broken good. Now, I'm going to show off Lasser's. Real quick, I want to address the map thing again on why I changed it. You see, the map screen in Rise 2, the map screen it used to have, before, obviously this video, I prefer the way that looks and the idea behind it. It's just that I didn't want this game to have the same problem BM2 has, where it feels like all of the post-launch content was stitched onto the side of an island. When it's just all laid out on a map like this, it works much better. It's a little more crowded, sure, but the old map was crowded anyway, and this just works better for, what this game is trying to be. I'm probably going to move Boss Rush somewhere over here. Don't know. But anyway, yeah, Lasser Super. Alright, Lasser Super consists of this combo thing. This is one of these supers where it is either really effective or does basically nothing. So yeah, it made sense for Blaster to have the combo-based super. I'm not typically a fan of those, but in terms of gameplay, she's the combo character, so combo-based super made sense. Now it's on to Gilman's super. And Gilman's super is summoning the Vaca that does that. It's probably the best one, which that's kind of Gilman's whole MO, is having, really, really good moves and then, no health. That's kind of his whole deal. But yeah. Alright, now let's move on to the weird part, which is Stage 4. Stage 4 is not done, right? But it has a layout. I still need to do the floor. I've got the sky done for stage 4, but I still need to do the floor of every room that is the boss and add details to the sky part, like vines or something. I don't know yet. Anyway, it's supposed to be the swamp level. Now, this is the only stage where you don't start all the way to the left, which is whatever. But yeah, I'll get to that red guy in a second, once I kill all these guys so I can show them off. Now, neither of the new enemies currently have functioning hitboxes, but whatever. This is the Scale Marauder. He has like 60 health, 65 health, something like that. He's relatively tanky. I think he's the third tankiest enemy in the game right now. Obviously not included bosses. He moves decently fast. His knockback resistance isn't that high for an enemy of his health pool. But yeah, essentially he's the projectile enemy, which it's weird it took until stage 4 for me to introduce one, when Rise 1 introduced one in the very first level, but whatever. Now we move on to the other new enemy type of the stage, the Corrupted Corpse. These things have the most health of any regular enemy in the game. They move the slowest, but after a while of not being in range, they get aggroed and start moving faster than any enemy in the game. So essentially, you just stand in their face, and then that resets their aggro timer. That's how they work, essentially. And they take a while to use their basic when you're in range of it, unless they're running. In which case, if they're running, they'll use it immediately. That's essentially how the Corrupted Corpse works. It's a very annoying and gimmicky enemy, but there haven't been a lot of those in Rise 2, so I felt the need to include a gimmicky enemy. There also aren't many of these guys in the game. The Scale Marauder and Corrupted Corpse do not show up in the game's final level, meaning there's like 3 or 4 of each in the whole game, so it's not a big issue. Now we move on to the mini-bosses. Stage 4 does not have a unique mini-boss. Instead, it has 2 refights. These being Large Bernard and the Mimic. Now the difference with Large Bernard is that he summons 6 Zavuki at a time, instead of 3 like he did on stage 1, but there's more room. His health pool's the same, though, so you can still kill him really quickly. The reason I chose these 2 mini-bosses specifically is that every other boss in the game, barring the stage 4 boss himself, but a form of him does do this, every other boss in the game shows up in stage 5 in some way, except for Bernard and the Mimic. So I felt it necessary to add these guys to stage 4 so that every boss in the game is refought at least once in the base campaign, just for consistency's sake. Again, the stage 4 boss is the exception, as well as bosses introduced in stage 5, but a form of the stage 4 boss does appear in stage 5. Now, the Mimic boss itself has not changed since stage 3. It's just joined by 2 Kramen, and the arena itself is wider. There aren't many instances of the arena itself being more vertical, but here we are. I experimented a lot more with verticality in bigger rooms when it comes to the stage 4 level design. For no reason in particular, I just felt like it. Every other screen, I think, prior to this is either the same, has the same verticality. I don't want to say height, but I mean that's what it is from like a coding standpoint, but it's weird to call it height when, you know, you're not moving on the z-axis, but you know what I mean. The y-axis has been extended. In most previous rooms, the y-axis was either the exact same or significantly shorter, like it is in stage 1. But there's a few instances in this stage of the y-axis being significantly increased when compared to the previous stages. now we move on to the... Oh, wait, there's one more room. This is the only appearance of the corpse in this level, I'm pretty sure. And the reason behind that is I felt it necessary to include every normal enemy in the stage. So every normal enemy is in Stage 4 at least some point, because barring the minions Vodokar summons, none of these guys show up in Stage 5. Stage 5 is all bosses, just like Stage 5 and Rise 1 was. Which I might show off what's in Stage 5 currently in this recording. Don't know. We'll see. Now this is Giguna. Or Aguna as the boss health bar calls him. But in the game's code he's called Giguna. Now this guy himself doesn't show up in Stage 5, but regular Aguna does. So yeah. I did, just like I said in the boss tier list, I did nerf his attack cooldown, so the attacks themselves are all the exact same, it's just that he uses them less often. And as you can see, this is the only part of the level that has any sort of floor, so that's neat. Or any sort of finished floor.